Chaco Suzuki with Real Self TV, and I'm here with America's best dermatologist, including Dr. Terrence Keaney. Why are you laughing? Welcome. Could you tell us your specialty and where you practice?
I'm a board-certified dermatologist in the Washington, D.C. area at the Washington Institute of Dermatologic Laser Surgery.
Great. Let's talk about Pico Way, which is something that's new on the market. Can you tell me what does it treat and what is it?
So Pico Way is what we call a picosecond laser that treats tattoos. The way laser tattoo removal works is the laser energy actually breaks up the ink underneath the skin. And the Pico Way uses what's called a picosecond laser, which means that the laser energy is fired really quickly, so it more effectively breaks up the ink underneath the skin and then allows your body to more effectively remove the ink from the skin.
And how is Pico Way different from other tattoo removal lasers out on the market?
Yeah, the traditional tattoo removal lasers are what we call Q-switch lasers, which the laser energy is delivered in what we call nanoseconds, which is the equivalent of a millionth of a second, whereas the Pico Way, the laser energy is delivered in a trillionth of a second. So it's much faster and more effectively breaks up the ink. What's also unique about the Pico Way is there are other picosecond lasers, but the Pico Way has two wavelengths, what's called the 532 nanometer and the 1064 nanometer, which allows you to more effectively treat a broad spectrum of colors.
Okay, and yeah, there are some challenges with certain colors with other lasers. Are we going to see the same thing with Pico Way? With I think reds are difficult or oranges. How is it going to be different for Pico Way?
So reds, yellows, skin color tattoos, those are probably our most challenging tattoo colors to get rid of. The Pico Way has with the 532 wavelength in the Pico Way is the ideal wavelength to remove those specific colors. So it really allows you to treat those more difficult colors that other picosecond lasers do not.
And let's talk about risks with this laser. Will we see any scarring or keloids that form? What should consumers be aware about when they're considering this treatment?
Yeah, anytime you do laser tattoo removal, the laser is breaking up the ink underneath the skin, so that can temporarily disrupt the skin. You may have a blister, or the skin may be rough immediately after the treatment, but usually patients heal well. Often with laser tattoo removal, any changes to the skin, whether it's slight textural changes or color changes, are usually due because we have to treat the tattoo so many times to clear it. The good thing about these picosecond lasers, including the Pico Way, is since it more effectively targets and treats the tattoos, it requires less treatments, which means less potential complications.
Now, is there ever an instance where you'd only need one treatment with Pico Way, or is that just very rare?
Unfortunately, no, but with one treatment you can get significant improvement, and it really depends on your tattoo. You know, certain tattoo colors are really easily treated. If your tattoo artist did not place much ink underneath the skin, it might require less treatments. Nowadays, though, the tattoo artists, while making beautiful looking tattoos, they use a lot of ink to kind of create that, those sharp images, which ultimately just requires more treatments. But what we're seeing with the Pico Way lasers, it definitely requires less treatments than the traditional lasers.
One of the biggest questions that we get about pretty much any treatment on Real Self is, does it hurt? So with Pico Way, what does it feel like? Does it hurt?
It is uncomfortable. You know, we don't say it doesn't hurt at all. In our practice, we tend to use topical numbing medication. We'll let patients sit for 30 minutes to an hour before the treatment. That definitely helps alleviate some of the discomfort. We often use blow cold air onto the skin while the laser is working to once again minimize the discomfort. So there, while it's not pain-free, there are definite strategies to minimize the discomfort.
Okay, I have one last question, and that is, what is the craziest tattoo you've ever removed?
We've actually seen a lot. I mean, it's not the craziest, but we've seen a lot of tattoos where the word is spelled inappropriately. So they're coming in to just take away a couple letters, so so then they can re-tattoo the right spelling. So I found that, and that's more than one. So whenever you're getting a tattoo, make sure your spelling is correct.
That is a very helpful tip. And you did bring up a good point that I wanted to ask about. So if you do get a tattoo removed with Pico Way and then you want to redo it over the same space, can you do that, or are there any problems?
Yes, no, I mean, absolutely. And that's a common presentation of our patients. It's not like some of these patients just want to get rid of all tattoos. A lot of my patients have multiple tattoos. They just don't like one certain one, and they like that area, so they want to get rid of that, and they can place another tattoo there. There's really no problem with that, as long as they heal, as expected after that tattoo removal. So it's something, as we monitor their response, we can talk about, when to get the next tattoo, as long as the skin heals appropriately.
Got it. All right. Well, that was so much great information. Thank you so much for talking about Pico Way with us today. And if you want to learn more about Dr. Keaney, you can check him out on his profile on realself.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you.